Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that is as complex as it is impactful. The topic is Stockholm Syndrome. So we're not only going to look at how it can show up in certain religious contexts like churches, but we're also going to explore how it can surface in our everyday lives, in our relationships, in our workplaces, and even in our communities as a large. So what exactly is Stockholm Syndrome? Well, it's a psychological phenomenon where victims of abuse, victims of hostage situations, or victims of manipulation develop positive feelings towards the abusers. They even develop love and loyalty towards the abusers. So the term originated in the 1970s after a Swedish bank robbery. So the hostages ended up defending their captors even after being freed. It was even recorded that the hostages came up together to contribute towards the lawyers' fees of their captors in order to defend them more. So now, while Stockholm Syndrome is typically associated with severe hostage situations, similar psychological dynamics, I believe, can happen in everyday lives, like in religious settings, like in our workplaces, and even between our friendships. It can be incredibly challenging to recognize when we are in it ourselves. So let's start by looking at Stockholm Syndrome within religious contexts, specifically in some churches or other places of worship. In some cases, individuals may become deeply attached to a charismatic leader or a rigid structure to the point where they feel dependent on that leader or system, even if they're experiencing harm spiritually, mentally, and sometimes physically. It might sound surprising, but some leaders or organizations use fear, guilt, and isolation as method to control people. So for example, followers may be told that questioning the authority will lead to punishment, ostracization, or even spiritual condemnation. And this creates an intense loyalty that's based not on mutual respect, but on fear and emotional dependency. So when Stockholm Syndrome kicks in, followers might find themselves justifying harmful actions by the organization or leader, convinced that this pain is somehow for their benefit or growth. Sometimes victims, instead of having deep conversations and asking deep questions, they resort to making statements such as, "Oh, maybe it's my fault. Oh, I think I've been praying less. I'm not close enough. I'm rather being bitter. I haven't been listening to the leader's sermon enough." And this bond can make it incredibly difficult to leave, even when staying causes harm to their mental and physical health. But let's bring this closer to our day-to-day lives. Stockholm Syndrome doesn't just appear in religious settings. It can also be found in abusive relationships like toxic friendships and oppressive workplaces. Think about that friend who constantly belittles you, yet you feel the need to keep them around because of shared history or the times that they were nice to you, or maybe it's that boss who micromanages or even intimidates you, yet you feel you need to prove yourself to them, believing their behavior is somehow your fault. So in these situations, people can end up rationalizing harmful actions as normal or even deserved. Over time, we might start to believe that this mistreatment is something we need to tolerate out of fear, out of guilt, or the hope for approval. Like in Stockholm Syndrome, there's often a cognitive dissonance where we excuse the person's behavior to maintain a sense of emotional safety or stability, even if it's harmful. So why does Stockholm Syndrome happen in situations like these? Listen, psychological and emotional survival instincts are really powerful. In uncomfortable situations or painful situations, it's been proven that the brain can twist reality to help us feel safer or more in control. So people might start to form a bond with their abusers as a way to minimize their perceived threats. So you often hear thoughts such as, what if I'm tagged as disloyal? Or what if I'm ostracized by my peers? Or what if I'm used as an example? Or what if I cannot survive on my own. So this is often about survival in a hostile environment, whether it's a religious leader, a romantic partner, a family member, or a friend. The mind has the ability to trick you into focusing on the rare positive moments and downplaying the frequent harmful behaviors. It's a coping mechanism, but it is one that keeps us trapped in a cycle of dependency and self-blame. To the next section, how can you tell if you or someone you know might be experiencing Stockholm Syndrome? Here are a few signs to watch out for. Number one is excessive loyalty to someone who's been hurtful or manipulated. You still pledge allegiance. Number two, refusing to question the authority or excusing their negative behaviors. Number three is isolation from supportive friends and family who encourages independence. You want to stay away from families and friends who are encouraging you to be independent. Number four, self-blame and guilt. They believing that they somehow deserve that treatment. If you recognize these signs, know that it's possible to break free. It's a process. It involves self-awareness. It involves supportive relationship. Don't ignore those relationships that abusive manipulators telling you to ignore. And often it also involves professional help. The first step is identifying or understanding that you deserve respect. You deserve kindness. You deserve a positive environment. Whether that's in your faith, whether that's in your friendship or your work or any other part of your life. The healing process, recovery from these experiences is absolutely possible. It often begins with small steps. Set boundaries. Reach out to people that you trust. Allow yourself to ask questions and feel supported. Reconnecting with your own values and self-worth can be life-changing, especially if you've spent a lot of time in situations where you felt controlled or dependent. Reconnect to your self-values. Remember, questioning an authority figure or leaving a negative situation or environment is not only okay, but also a way to reclaim your own agency and health. Healing might involve counseling, like talking to a mentor, or simply having honest conversations with people that you trust. But amidst it all, it is possible. I hope this video has given you some insight into how Stockholm Syndrome can impact people in a wide range of situations, not just in churches or extreme cases, but in the small everyday relationships that shapes our lives. If you found this helpful or want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. Let's build a space which is safe for everyone to learn and grow. And if you think this could help someone in your life, please consider sharing it with them. Thanks for watching, and remember, you deserve healthy and uplifting relationship. Thank you. Bye-bye.